But to be a leader, it's the soft skills that matter. In an environment where the world is becoming more dependent on technology in various forms, the soft skills tend to be pushed into the background. That's unfortunate, and this book steps up to the challenge of bringing them more into balance. This book provides a broad toolkit for the consultant or business person who wants to keep pace in a rapidly changing environment, become a more rigorous problem solver, and develop a more effective communication. In other words, it's for anyone who wants to be a more well-rounded and successful professional. Tony Girth, DBA, Clinical Associates Professor of Information Systems, Kelley School of Business, Indiana University, Bloomington, Indiana, December 2017. Introduction. You enter the forest at the darkest point, where there is no path. Where there is a way or path, it is someone else's path. If you follow someone else's way, you are not going to realize your potential. Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey. This book isn't a standard guide to consulting. It can't be, because I'm not a standard consultant. I grew up on a farm in Indiana, like my dad before me. He was the second of 10 children, told by his parents that he wasn't smart enough to go to college. He refused to buy that, worked a factory job to save enough for school, and became a teacher and coach, all while staying close to his farming roots. My mother came from humble beginnings herself. She was the daughter of a housekeeper who went to college only through the GI Bill after her father was killed in World War II. They were traditional people in non-traditional circumstances who seemed to do things their own way, even if it was the hard way. Looking back, I believe some of those qualities made their way to me. I may have grown up in a sports-crazed family, but work always came first. Between tending a 3-acre family garden, keeping the overall farm in shape, and being lent out to work on other farms, I seldom knew free time during daylight hours. At times, it seemed to my siblings and me that my dad wanted us to be busy as much as he wanted us to be productive. It was a case of idle mind, devil's workshop, perhaps, but it certainly reduced the motivation to work smart, knowing that some other task would simply take the place of any I completed. I wanted to break that mold. I worked hard, but I also wanted to make things easier and to enjoy that rare elixir of time to myself. My father couldn't understand it at the time, but I knew that I wanted to help companies become more productive, even if I had no idea how. I never had the standard consulting background. I graduated from our farming high school with a senior class of 47 students, and then from a small nearby engineering college called Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. Rose-Hulman was a top-ranked engineering college with 100% placement for engineers, but did not have a business school. Even after an engineering degree and well into my first corporate job, the world of consulting was alien to me. Until I was 2 years out of college, taking my first master's class, I didn't even realize that business consulting firms existed. It seemed to me that they were part of another world, far away from my day-to-day life and skills. I soon became very curious and started to piece together an understanding of what consulting was and how to get closer to it. I figured things out as I went. This meant working a lot of nights and weekends, doing my own research, then applying what I was learning to my projects along the way. It was stressful because in the early days, I did not have a foundation of consulting tools and training to draw from. As a result, I can identify with the 99% of the population who didn't go to the elite business schools or benefit from consulting firm training and client engagements straight after graduation. After getting my engineering degree, I went to work at Texas Instruments in Dallas. Initially, I was in a technical role, working closely with senior engineers, many of whom held multiple patents. It was an exciting time, working on a space-based missile defense system with lots of innovation. After a couple of years enjoying rocket science, I rotated to a more mature and mundane radar system program, where I was focused on managing assembly line operations. Although it was a promotion, I quickly became bored. So I started arriving at work early every morning and experimenting with process improvements on the assembly line.